So we submitted all the evidence we had in our filing to the International Criminal Court before the sanctions, and the Trump administration has sanctioned the ICC prosecutor, and that has paused our information sharing just as we navigate that legally, and has been a bit tricky, but we did sort of present to them in The Hague on our findings. And I mean, there's not much I can say, and I don't really know. Right. They wouldn't tell me what they're doing, but there certainly was an interest in it. And I think as a case, like one thing that's kind of astounding is in the history of international criminal law, which sort of started with Nuremberg, but really got going in the early 1990s with the Balkans and Rwanda. In all this time, they never prosecuted a private military contractor. A mercenary has never been held individually accountable for any war crime, right, crime against humanity. So in terms of the precedent, especially right now where almost all military is moving towards privatization, like that is the trend of warfare. I think if prosecutors don't start paying attention to this as an issue and taking action, it's going to be a huge oversight and sort of a glaring gap in showing that they're sort of behind the times. Right. But I don't know what they're doing. And other action has happened, which I'll talk about more in the private.
Fair enough.
Private session. We're definitely working with or trying to support other national law enforcement and other experts.
Are you optimistic that there's going to be something that comes out of all of this, or is this one of those things where you're just kind of documenting it, hoping? Where's your head at that there's any sort of like energy to get this?
Yeah, I am optimistic, kind of because I have to be, especially this is the hardest investigations. You know, I've been doing war crimes for more than a decade, and the graphic content, because they are filming themselves and posting all of it, is sort of the worst I've ever seen. And, you know, just getting through the secondary trauma for my team has really been a large part of the process. So, yeah, I wouldn't be subjecting myself or anyone else to this if I didn't think that something would happen. And I do think, you know, there are people within different agencies who care about this as a passion project, you know, or just like they're going to stay on it. I believe that. And I also believe these guys travel and will travel.
Right.
And I'll talk a bit about that too. But yes, I do think, you know, this type of justice takes a long time, too long in my opinion. And that's one thing we're trying to change with introducing new investigation techniques and new tools, is to try and speed up the process, because it's way too slow, especially considering sort of the tempo of battle these days. Yes, but I'm hopeful something will happen.